Hey, what's happening, YouTube? Welcome back to Scents of South Jersey with me, Kellen, for another fragrance review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at an absolute classic, one of the older fragrances I've reviewed on the channel, a staple in every drugstore, and that is the 1964 Aromatic Fougere, released from the house of BRUT, and it is BRUT by Fabergé or Parfums Prestige, and now I think Parfums de Character. So it's been, passed around from a couple different houses. Obviously, it's a very old fragrance. So as always, what we're going to do is break down the fragrance into a couple different parts. First, taking a look at the box and bottle presentation. Then I'm going to go over the fragrance's notes. Then I'm going to talk about its performance based on my experience wearing the fragrance and the time that I've had it. And then I'll give it my overall thoughts and, of course, my overall rating. With BRUT, though, I am going to take a look at a couple different iterations of the fragrance. We have, the one that I've been enjoying and wearing, and then I have a different version as well, too, the Special Reserve, as well as the one that you can kind of get anywhere, and that is the Splash On Aftershave Body Cologne too. So we'll take a look at all of those and a few of the body line products as well. If it's your first time here, as always, guys, make sure to subscribe. It really helps me out to support the channel. We are growing. We're on our way to 6,000 subscribers, which is just awesome. If you have an Instagram, check out the Scents of South Jersey Instagram page for news and updates on the channel, photos of fragrances from my collection, and daily scent of the day story posts. So let's not waste any more time. Let's take a look at BRUT. All right, let's quickly start things off with the presentation. Right here, you see the box. I'm gonna bring this right up to the screen here. You have green box, it says BRUT, that classic look there. It says Parfums de Character. This is the Eau de Toilette version. It's a 100 ml bottle. Here, nothing on the top, on the sides. On the back, you got some brand information. On the bottom, you have what looks like a batch code, and you got your barcode. Kind of a flimsy box, not a very stiff cardboard. Obviously, it's inexpensive fragrance. And you got the little BRUT coat of arms right there. So the bottle, as you can see, guys, I've really put a dent in this one. I'm gonna kill this one soon. Thicker glass, pretty nice, really, really cheap cap. The cap does not stay on. You cannot hold it up by the cap. It's got the little BRUT coat of arms there that you can see. It says BRUT in Boston glass there, Eau de Toilette, and I think this is a little sticker there that you could peel off. On the bottom, you don't really have any information. On the back, you do have some brand information, the size and the concentration. The distribution on this one, pretty good. Actually, it's a pretty good sprayer considering it's cheap. The sprayer's good, the cap is just not. I wish it stayed on. Now, if you look at the Special Reserve cologne, this is more that maybe the classic one. So it's a green glass, green bottle. It's got this big gaudy silver chain here. It's a sticker that holds it in place. I've had this one for a while. Cap, this one, it can hang on. And the sprayer here, I'll spray some on this hand as well. And pretty simple. I don't have the box for this anymore, but it was just like a tube box with like a window so you could see the actual bottle, nothing special. And then the last one that we have here is the Splash On. This is a plastic bottle, no glass. This can be found in any CVS. They have an aftershave, and then they have this one called Splash On, which I believe is a cologne, body splash, and or aftershave. I shaved with this past weekend. Beard is starting to grow in, but I was able to use all of these products at once here. The cap does screw off there, and it is a splash bottle too. On the back, you have the information. Again, this is probably the newest iteration of BRUT that there is, and you can get it anywhere. So the presentation for BRUT, the couple different versions of it is pretty cool. Okay, so let's go over the notes for BRUT. So in the top, we have lavender, anise, bergamot, basil, orange blossom, and lemon. And then in the heart of the fragrance, you have ylang ylang, geranium, and jasmine. And then in the base of BRUT, you have coumarin, musk, sandalwood, oak moss, tonka bean, vanilla, vetiver, and patchouli. So, when I spray this on, again, in my attempts to pick out some notes, I definitely get some more florals with this one. There's the lavender and a little bit of the anise, and I think it's kind of got a nice musky, like dry down to it. Whereas with the Special Reserve, this one has got a distinct kind of sour, powdery scent. And I cannot pick up on anything but more of a powder and a little bit of like the lemon, like a lemon pledge lemon. So other than that, obviously the notes infuse in to make both of them. I'm not sure if they're different notes, different versions. I didn't really look that much into it because this is really the one I'm reviewing. So the notes I listed are gonna be for this version. All right, so the performance for BRUT, again, this is the Eau de Toilette version. Whereas the other ones are Eau de Cologne and aftershave. The Eau de Toilette, though, pretty decent given the price point. So I would say it's about a little bit above average, right at the average 5 to 6 hour mark, which isn't bad. Obviously, you're going to notice it the most in its first hour. That's when it's going to be the strongest. And then as the day goes on, and maybe you're at the 4 or 5 hour range, it's going to be a skin scent. However, it does stick to clothes. The way I've been applying it, guys, just to get as much performance as I can. Again, you can overspray away with this. It doesn't matter. I've been taking it a lot. I've been doing this with a lot of fragrances. This is the way I enjoy it. I spray it and just get a nice, amount in my hand, and then I just kind of put them on the back of my neck and then across on my hands as well, too, on my wrist. And that'll kind of get it all over your neck, and that'll give you a nice scent cloud with this fragrance. But, you know, don't expect anything more than you know, maybe 5-6 hours max. Again, that's if you're spraying a lot on your clothes and skin. But again, at the $12 price point, that really isn't bad. There are fragrances that cost way more than this that do not perform as well. But I would say that's right about what you're going to get, about 5 to 6 hours max. All right, so it's time for my overall thoughts on BRUT, the Eau de Toilette. So I was actually pretty surprised by this fragrance. You know, it is a nice, clean, soapy lavender, some anise, some citrus, some florals, and it kind of all blends together to make a really nice fougere fragrance too. Again, the price point at around $12, you can't beat that. The performance aside, still 5 hours, not bad. But it's a fresh scent. It's definitely a barbershop scent. It's not as green as many of the fragrances that came after it, like when you think this is 64. So, you know, go ahead, you know, almost 10 years, Bogart's Signature comes out, Paco Rabanne, Pour Homme, you know, those 70s fragrances. And then in the 80s were, even though this has oak moss, but it doesn't go that green, so it's not as strong, which kind of makes it nice and easy for a daily signature scent if you want something cheap for work, for the gym. I've worn this to the gym. I've obviously, like, look at that. I'm gonna kill the bottle soon. Applying this fragrance again, I just like to put a bunch in my hand and I just kind of just, you know, put it on the back of my neck. You can put it on your clothing. It's not gonna offend anybody. It won't be overbearing is what I mean. My girlfriend actually complimented on it. She said, oh, that smells nice. Now, obviously, let's keep in mind she knows to like notice fragrances on me because of what I like to do with YouTube and collecting and reviewing. So it's not an official one, but again, if it were something that she didn't like, or she didn't want me to wear, or she felt smelled old manish or something like that, she would just say it. So that's the nice part about BRUT. Now, when you compare it to the Special Reserve, this one is a little cheaper. It's an eau de cologne, so it's a lower concentration, and it just, to me, smells like sour baby powder, like a lemon pledge sour baby powder. I don't know if the notes are the same. I really didn't look. I probably should have. And the splash on this one is like a mix between the Special Reserve and the Eau de Toilette, but this is a great aftershave. So I've used all these products. They have a body spray. This actually smells really nice. You can get this at ShopRite, is where I got it at my local supermarket. They do have a shower gel as well. Smells kind of like a generic shower gel with BRUT infused in there. It's not really that close to the fragrance, but it's nice. Would I necessarily rebuy this again when I'm done? If I still have a lot of BRUT left, yes. Otherwise, no, probably not. And they do have a deodorant stick. So the downside to this is that it's an alcohol-based deodorant. However, it does smell really nice. There is an aluminum, but I can't wear these that often because after a while, that does give me a skin irritation, whereas the non-alcohol, non-aluminum deodorant does not. That's what I usually prefer. So BRUT may have that, but if it's into antiperspirant, I would probably stay away from it as opposed to, but this is just the deodorant. So again, overall, this is a nice pickup if you want something classic. It's got a nostalgia feel to it. It smells nice. It's definitely masculine for sure. Not, you know, the longest lasting fragrance, but I didn't buy it for that reason. I wanted to try it out. I know they do make an aftershave in this form, but, you know, I think the aftershave that you can get at any CVS, Walgreens, whatever, is perfectly fine. So overall, I think that this one is out of the choice that you can get. If you're just going to get one, definitely get the Eau de Toilette. It's a solid fragrance for the price point. I really enjoyed it. Okay, guys, time for my overall rating for BRUT, the Eau de Toilette version 2. So we'll take a look at the presentation. Again, the box, cheap bottle, but I like it. It's classic, and it's the nostalgia thing that I think really comes into play with the look of this fragrance, the way it is. It just, you know, it takes you back, and I'm talking about people probably agree that are way older than me, and obviously I wasn't anywhere alive at all in the 60s, 70s, or until you know, the late 80s when I was born, but it's just got a nice look to it. So I really like this bottle a lot. I like that it's the embossed glass, and it's kind of got that, like, you know, like kind of golden juice in there. I mean, you know, they didn't make built-in sprayers for this stuff, unfortunately. So 7.5 for presentation. The performance is going to be a 5 out of 10. That's about what I'm getting, 5 hours. And the scent overall, I'm going to give an 8 out of 10. I really was surprised by it. Again, this is all based on the price point and what you can get for 12 bucks. I don't think this is bad at all. So overall rating for the fragrance as a whole is going to be a 7 out of 10, and that's BRUT, the Eau de Toilette. All right, guys, that'll wrap it up for me. That's my review of BRUT, the Eau de Toilette by Parfums de Character. So let me know what your thoughts are on this fragrance. Do you have a preference? Do you like the Special Reserve one better? Do you like the traditional CVS or Walgreens splash-on plastic bottle? Or you're like me, do you like this one more? Please let me know in the comment section. You guys know I always appreciate all the interaction. If you haven't done so already and you enjoy the videos that I create, make sure to subscribe to support the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Check out the Sense of South Jersey Instagram page for more news and updates on the channel, photos of fragrances from my collection, and of course, daily scent of the day stories. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.